Just a quick demo on how this works. It's a mechanically reciprocating little pea shooter thing. It comes with these loadable shells, and you put the little pea in there, and basically it's shell ejecting, so, and then it locks back when it's done. It's pretty cool. I'm going to turn it into a Lawgiver. Okay, so one weekend later, I've modded the Science and Education toy so that it fits and it's a little bit more streamlined. I'm making a sinter shell, which I'll get to in a second. I extended the front sight here so that it can accommodate a snap action switch. That's going to be the trigger. Carved out some of the magazine well for another snap action switch, and that's going to be the magazine release. Carved out a bunch of the front rail, again, just to accommodate some LEDs and stuff behind it. This is the part that goes on the rear sight. There's not much to it because this is going to be part of the reciprocation action, so it kind of needs to be light enough so that it doesn't hinder the cycling. Here is the sinter shell, and it fits in like, you know. And then there's going to be a part that comes up like that to cover it all up. And there's a clear barrel and a clear other barrel so that light can go through it. The front sight is extended again so that it can accommodate the snap action switch that goes right here, and it'll be on the normally closed setting so that it can actually trigger stuff. Yeah, the front sight is going to be the, whoops, well, at least you know it's lined up right. Cycling works pretty well. I mean, gotta hold everything in place for now, but otherwise, goes back and forth. These are the cutouts for the LED bar graph. And then of course I'll put like a big ass magwell on here. Progress. This is my Lawgiver, made from the Science and Education toy, which was a Glock. The original was a Beretta that they just put a shell on it to include the grip. So if you watch the movie, you can see that everybody's just got this massive amount of grip that they have to maneuver around. This is about, I don't know, 75-80% of what the actual Lawgiver is, because the real one is just gigantic. It's huge compared to this, which is pretty much just, you know, handgun size. I think it extends to about that. It's definitely not as big as the original, which is fine with me. Close observers will notice how crunchy it is in certain places, which again is also fine with me since I just made this for me for shooting at the TV, and more or less just to see if I could do it. For the most part I did. It's just, you know, it's not ready for, you know, filming or anything like that, so just for fun. There is a USB battery in right here, and there's a little window so you can actually get to the micro USB, and you can see the power indicator lights. There's little windows right here and on the other side too, so that when the gun cycles, there's a little piece of aluminum tape right there, and it kind of looks like it's flashing something. It actually picks up the background light from this, so it has a little bit of a glow to it, but not really. It's more just a reflection of whatever is outside. The switch is right here. We'll use this one. This is a modified magazine. I took the follower out of it so that it doesn't actually lock back. So this is all cob. There's one back here, and then this is separated so that it can actually be segmented for the Force Effects soundboard. You want to see that again? which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see where all the lights are. Yeah, you can see there's 3 lights right there. There's 4, there's one that's out, or at least it's depleted to the point where there's only 3 illuminated. I forgot what I was talking about. There's a light in the barrel also, and it's triggered by a snap action switch. And then of course when it locks back, it stays open, or it stays on, which is fine. This is just some tube with polypropylene film in there. You can see the aluminum tape when it cycles. It's a pretty neat little platform. It's all plastic. It's a mechanical cycle, which is kind of neat. But that's really all it is. And you can swap out the other magazine for like one with an actual follower in it so that it'll lock back. It doesn't cycle as well as I had hoped with all the shells in it. It cycles fine when it's empty, but the shells kind of mess with it a little bit, but I'll put some in here just to show you what it's like. There's a little spring in here, and the way the actual firing works, again, is actually pretty clever. That the projectile itself goes in the shell, and then there's a little release right here, so that when you put the shell in there, it's more or less functioning like a real gun would, complete with a firing pin, which knocks on the little spot right there and sends the projectile off. And then it'll cycle and kick out the spent round casing. I have to go find those in a second. I don't know where they're going. Whoa, gotta hang. Is that the last one? Oh, there's one more in there. And he's not going anywhere, so that's how that works. I mean, it's more just for fun. Otherwise, it's just 3mm Sintra construction, and I just built a shell around it, and ooh, that logo right there. Let's keep it at a distance. I used a micro engraver for that one, and it's super crunchy, but whatever. You can actually see through, so that when you have magazine in there, you can see all the way down, and there's the switch. I'm pretty sure you can't see that, but I left that open so that it was nice and light, and it's not too heavy, which it's pretty much right on the cusp, obviously, since the cycling isn't 100%, but this is, again, the soy sauce bottle top on top of another bottle cap. This is all JB Weld steel stick. There's a little plate on top of the snap action switch, and then there's another one on the other side so that it's equally wide, but either way it's sculpted by me, which is it's nice and comfy to hold, though. I mean, with the Glock by itself is already nice and comfy, but then you got some extra padding on the top and the sides and stuff, so it's actually really nice to hold. I like that part. Yep, that's my Lawgiver. See you later. Brilliant!